Hi guys, welcome to Coffee with the Clinical Director. I am Kara, your Special Olympics Iowa Health and Fitness Coordinator, and today we are here with Cindy. Hi Cindy.
Hi.
Cindy is one of our great fun fitness clinical directors. And with fun fitness, that means her background is in physical therapy. She worked as a home care physical therapist with the Mary Greeley Hospital in Ames. Um, and she has been a clinical director with us for quite a while, just right around the beginning. And she actually last year she took a special advanced clinical director training. So she is just very well educated in all things fun fitness, and we just love having her around. Um, so we are going to get to know Cindy a little bit better now. We have some questions for her. So we'll get started with those. Cindy, what is your go-to healthy fall food?
Well, in the fall, I of course love apples. You can get all kinds of apples. I love the crispy kind, and then I also like to take the basil and tomatoes from my garden and make tomato basil soup that I do, and then I usually have some crackers and cheese with it, and those are um, those are fun to have. And usually I have some cider, the spice cider, a little bit for a warm drink if it's a cold day. But
Yeah, those all sound just like nice, warm, cozy things.
yeah,
Those all sound great. Um, so Cindy, what is your favorite type of workout?
well, it's a good thing you sent me this question ahead of time because I'm one of these that likes to do a lot of different things so I don't get bored. Swimming, of course, is my favorite thing overall, and but in the different seasons, like in the summer, I other than this past year when the outdoor pools were closed, I would love to bike to the pool, swim outside, and then bike back. And in the winter time, I do like some snowshoeing and cross country skiing. But I usually do in the fall. I like to um, do trail runs or hikes in the out in the leaves and stuff like that, and bike on trails around Iowa. They're getting a lot of nice trails, so it's really a fun place to go, and you can stay safe and not have to be out on the roads. So
Yeah. That's awesome. Very versatile. So like I said, you're retired now, but what was your favorite part about being a physical therapist?
I loved doing home care. At first, I wasn't sure about it, but I liked it because I just worked with one person at a time, and the people that couldn't get out, they're usually homebound, and they couldn't get out, and they were very motivated to do their exercises to get better, and you could see a lot of improvement. And for athletes, they like to see a whole lot of improvement, but for people that have a hard time just getting around their house, you can see improvement right away, and they just get so excited about it, and they enjoy having someone come to visit. So I I really liked all those parts of it.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So getting into some physical therapy specific questions. I'm sure one thing that you worked on with those people was balance. And can you tell me why balance is important?
Well, it's really important just for overall decreased fall risk. And a lot of people think, well, you only have to do that with the elderly people, but all of us can have something happen where we fall, something comes up. Athletes, need to move their arms or move their legs, so they need to be able to keep their balance while they're swinging a bat or kicking a ball. And injuries can, if you lose your balance and fall, even if you're not elderly, you can still have a severe injury, and then you're out of doing something for a while. So it's very important to
Yeah, well, that sounds like that's something that we want to work on. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't want to get hurt doing those daily activities and don't want to get hurt while playing our sports. So Cindy, what are some exercises that we can do to improve our balance?
Well, what I like to do is, and a lot of times I'll have people start out with something where I make sure that they're going to be safe for a little bit until they get better balance. But I'm going to switch my thing around here to the corner.
Into your balance studio.
Yeah, it's, a lot of times I'll be working with someone and I'll have them stand in a corner so they have something on each side, and if they want to put a chair in front. But then, and also someone can just stand at the side of their bed, so if they fall backwards, they can just sit down on their bed. But just work on, standing and trying to stay balanced for, say 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and then gradually, and then you can work on moving your arms while you're doing it. And some people actually stand in the evening to brush their teeth. You can also do, standing with your feet like in tandem or close together and do some head turns, because a lot of times when you're walking and you have to turn to look at something, you want to make sure that you don't tip over if if you're going to have to look at something. And so,
Yeah, definitely. Those seem like pretty simple things that we could add into our routines every day too. Not too much time spent, not too much work, but definitely, like you said, very, very effective. So balance is obviously really important, we've established. What about the concept of stretching? Why do I need to stretch?
well, it's really important just to for injury prevention, and just to be able to use your muscles to the best ability. If you do regular stretching when you're doing activity, you're going to be less stiff and sore after you do those. So you want to make sure that you warm up a little bit and then do your stretches so that the muscle is nice and warmed up, and then it can, you can stretch it better, and you're going to, once you get into a stretch position, then you're going to hold it for 10 to 15 seconds at least, just to let the muscle relax and then stretch. And so usually what I like to do when I go do an activity is I'll start out, like if I'm doing a run, I'll start out slow and then maybe do a stop and stretch my calves, and then continue my run. And then at the end, then I do a good stretch of everything when I'm done, before I go take my shower. That gives me a chance to cool off, and then I do my stretch. And
Yeah, it sounds like, yeah, those are some good times to do your stretching when you're doing your exercise. Is there any other time during the day that is a good time to add stretching to your daily routine?
well, a lot of people, especially people that are working, some people get into a regular, like every hour or so, if they've been sitting, they do some stretches, just, kind of rotate their shoulders around, and then just kind of stretch through the front of the, kind of squeeze your shoulder blades together and kind of stretch through here, because sometimes you end up sitting like this. And then the if you're just standing, like doing something in the kitchen or something where you're standing a long time, and then you can just kind of sit down and maybe curl your body forward just so that you stretch the low back or something like that. Just anytime you're doing a lot of something in one position, it's a good idea to move out of that position and stretch a little bit.
Yeah, That's a really good idea. Just doing some of these shoulder ones, I can tell I was a little
Yeah.
bit tense sitting here, so I can see where those can be just really effective. And again, doesn't take much time or anything, just a little check there. So are there any other stretches that you would recommend adding to my daily routine?
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to move my computer again. Let's see here. There's two areas that a lot of people need to stretch, that I've noticed the athletes when we do the assessment. And one is the front of the hip, and especially if you do a lot of sitting, this area can get tight, and then that kind of pulls your pelvis in a forward position. So then sometimes people that have back pain, it's just because they've been in this position for a while. So the best way I like to stretch this area, you can do it on the floor or on a chair, but if you're just standing and you take one leg back like you're going to do a calf stretch, and then let me see if I can do this. Let's go the other way. If you bend this knee in the back and straighten up this part till you feel a little bit of stretch through here, and then you can do the other side. But you should be able, you want to slowly go into the stretch until you feel it, but you don't want to go real fast and maybe strain something. But then just, relax and hold it for 15 seconds, and it feels really good especially if you're really tight in there. And then
Yeah.
the other one is if you're sitting in a chair, you can just sit kind of on the edge of the chair and take your one leg out straight and just kind of slide your hands down your leg to stretch the back of your thigh. And this area is one I need a lot of stretching on, so I do it a lot, just to go till you feel where you're getting a stretch, and then you hold it and do the 15 seconds, and then switch to your other side. And a lot of times I'll do two of them if I'm all warmed up, since I'm in that position. And so
Yeah. Awesome. And again, those are things that are super, super easy. You don't need that much space, as we saw. You just kind of just a little bit of room, or if you're already sitting in a chair, it just seems like the natural thing to do. Just stretch out every once in a while during your day.
I've had people say that, when I first tried to get into it, it was always like, oh, I have to take time to do this. But if you get into a routine where you just, like 5 minutes, say you only have an hour, 5 or 10 minutes before that hour, you make sure that after you're warmed up, you leave that time to stretch. And if you get into a routine, then it's not so bad. So
Yeah, that's a good point. Routine is good. That
yep.
repetitiveness, all of a sudden you're just used to it. It's a part of your day. So that's definitely great. Yeah, thanks so much for those balance exercises and those stretches. I'm definitely going to start doing those throughout my day. I might even set some timers on my phone.
Yeah.
So throughout the day, I get reminded of that until it becomes routine. So that was awesome information. This is some information that typically you may be given at some of the Healthy Athletes Fun Fitness events. Obviously, we are not able to have those in person right now. But eventually we are going to be able to, and we'll all be able to be together doing large gatherings and having so much fun together. So Cindy, what are you most excited about for when we are able to end all these in-person event restrictions that we have right now?
Well, I'm so looking forward to seeing the athletes, and just the best thing about seeing them at events is they always have a smile and they always have a positive attitude. And with all the stuff that's going on with COVID, people are getting pretty depressed and negative about things. And I'm looking forward to just being able to see those smiles, actually give someone a hug instead of just waving across the room. And just their enthusiasm is so invigorating. I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully it'll be not too much longer, but it's hard to say.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm getting tired of this elbow bump situation. I'm
Yeah.
excited for some good Special Olympics hugs as well. So we are on Coffee with the Clinical Director. I have my coffee per usual. Be happy this morning. Um, Cindy, are you a coffee drinker?
And actually, I'm not. I always think it smells really good, but I've never developed a taste for it. So um,
Yeah.
I usually like my cold glass of skim milk, and like I said, sometimes the warm cider in the fall. But otherwise, I sometimes will drink some of the non-caffeinated herbal teas, but pretty much I'm just a milk drinker most of the time.
Yeah. So catch Cindy with her mug of cold milk.
Yeah, or sometimes after competitions, a little box of chocolate milk is a real treat.
Yes. Oh, for sure. Well, that's awesome, Cindy. Well, thanks again so much for being on here. Thanks for all the valuable information. I enjoyed talking with you today. And I can't wait to see you also at in-person events,
Yeah.
hopefully soon.
Okay.
All right. Bye, Cindy.
Bye. Enjoy your day.
Yeah, you too.